So there's a show I like to watch on Netflix called The Blacklist. It's a great show. I highly recommend it. But I've noticed on this show and on other shows that the writers of the dialogue in the show, let's just say, must think the viewer is stupid. I'll give you an example. In this show that I'm watching here, The Blacklist, there's a scene where an FBI, where this character of Middle Eastern descent is in a conversation with another character of Middle Eastern descent, and they're discussing their circumstances, and the one character says, how are you holding up? And the other character says, I'm doing okay, but I'm half Muslim, so that's not a plus. Half Muslim? I'm sorry, Netflix. I don't know who wrote that show, but either they're fucking stupid or they're trying to make people who really are stupid believe that Muslim is an ethnicity. Give me a break. So I just want to point that out to y'all. Pay attention when you're watching these entertainment shows on Netflix or Amazon or any other platform, really, because entertainment is being used to warp reality in your mind. And that's one of the ways they do it. It's such a subtle little thing that most people, I'm sure, probably wouldn't catch it. Oh, I'm half Muslim, and then they're watching the rest of the show. I mean, good God. I mean, it's like saying, oh, I'm half Buddhist. Doesn't make any sense, does it? But with all the rhetoric today and all the news, and see, this stuff works in tandem. You've really got to pay attention to this stuff because it is very subtle. And it can warp the minds of people who are young, weak-minded, needy, dependent, and and whose lives are too complicated for them to handle effectively. And so if you're not paying attention to this stuff, and that's the state of mind you live in, you're going to pick up on it in your subconscious. Of course, if somebody comes right out and points out that Muslim is not an ethnicity, the person's obviously going to agree with you. But we've seen enough examples of people who should be informed and who should have a modicum of decency and a measure of common sense. We have seen public figures, politicians, actors, sports people, sportscasters, ESPN, looking at you, getting all political. Well, we have seen plenty of examples of people in those positions saying things that on their face would make them look stupid. But they're not trying to be idiots. In fact, I don't think they are idiots. I think they deliberately do this because they think we're idiots. They think you're stupid. Frankly, that's insulting. And if you don't catch this stuff, you'll go through life and you'll be entertained, and one day you're going to wake up and realize that the way you think has been manipulated and programmed by this crap, and that it's so far off from reality that there's no hope for you. It's going to traumatize you. There are only two sexes, male and female. If you get to thinking that there's multiple sexes or multiple genders, okay, excluding hermaphrodites, right? We all know that is an unnatural phenomenon. It does happen in the animal kingdom and in the plant kingdom naturally. Among humans, it does not. So, I'm sorry. The fact is, reality is that there are two genders. If you get to thinking through programming like this, that there's more than two genders, one day you're going to wake up and reality is going to slap you upside the head so hard it's going to kill you. You're going to mentally crack. Don't mentally crack. Have some common sense. There's no such thing as being half Muslim.